introduce our special guest and tell you guys what we are doing right now. So my name's Stacy Lauren, and I host the Do the Thing podcast and also run the Do the Thing community. And it's really great when I join groups and different things, and I get to meet just like amazing people. And so that's how I met our expert today. Was we are in a common group. It's funny. It's in a software group. It's on learning how to automate Facebook. So it's great that I met you through a Facebook group, and this is for LinkedIn. So I love that. And then I was actually applying. This was when I was just applying for a TEDx talk, and I heard that she does like LinkedIn profiles. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like that's probably really important for that. And so then I reached out to her and basically had said, can you help me? She did. We spent the hour together and it was amazing. She like updated my profile. It looked all good. And then guess what? Out of 520 people, they picked like, I don't even know, what was it? 24 people. And then I was one of the ones that got to audition. And so it was really cool. And I'm still waiting to kind of figure out how that's going. But just even that alone just shows how powerful a LinkedIn profile is. And so I'd love to just, have you introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and all of that stuff.
Hi there, everyone. So yes, I have been on LinkedIn. My 20th anniversary is in April. So I've been around a long time. There are a lot of Wendy Taylors in the world, and I was the first one there. So I have a background as a tech exec. I've management consulted with the Fortune 500 and with venture-backed tech startups. I have a 64% exit rate, and that's not nothing. But and I scaled a fintech startup as the VP of Ops from employee 23 to employee 500. In my career, I've been a boss lady for a long time and done a lot of talent strategy for venture-backed tech startups. So I've conducted 12,000 interviews. I've trained a lot of recruiters how to use LinkedIn. But my heart is with my fellow entrepreneurs as well. So now what I'm doing, I still help the career folks. So if you have a day job, I've got you. And if you need a new day job, I've got you, especially one that'll tolerate your side gig. But now I'm also working with entrepreneurs. And the reality is a lot of people who are entrepreneurs haven't touched their LinkedIn since they left being an employee somewhere else. And beyond the profile, there's so much amazing stuff that you can do there. But let's start with the profile.
Yeah, amazing. And I wanted to go, I just noticed for some reason it is not streaming in the groups right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just tell everybody to watch. I see a lot of people on LinkedIn watching us, which is really cool. But I'm going to tell everybody to look at us on YouTube. So hold on one second. Just do that really quick. So this is what Do the Thing looks like, guys. It is learning how to pivot when you need to pivot. So let me just post it so then everyone knows. Sorry, this stream did not work. We are on YouTube. But you know what? This is not why I did it, obviously. But I've been wanting to grow my YouTube channel.
And I need to get on YouTube. So
there you go. Let me just make sure they're all seeing it, because I know there were a lot of people like so excited about this. But okay, everyone, LinkedIn is happening on YouTube, which is funny. It's on LinkedIn too, but okay. And then one more group I just want to tell really quick. The LinkedIn workshop is on, not stream here. So we are on YouTube now. Amazing. Okay, we are going to just do one little notification for everyone. So and so I'm so glad you're here because we are on YouTube. Because so I've been doing this this audience accelerator program, for Do the Thing, and really been helping people build an online community on Facebook. And then when you build the online community on Facebook, then you can, if I had worked the restream properly, then you stream it to all of the platforms. And so like right now, we're all on each other's platforms. And it's really great because you get to you get to really just like build your authority, right? And then also you're able to impact everyone for free because you get to have this free Facebook group. And then there's a percentage of those people that are in the Facebook group that will want to pay, kind of like today. We're doing this for free. And there might be some people that are like, wait, I want to do this with Wendy. And they're going to say, I want to know how to get in touch with you. And so it's kind of that freemium model idea. So anyway, so I was like, cool, I have people in my Audience Accelerator program that would love to have what you did with me on their LinkedIn profile. So guess what, everyone? We have a hot seat happening. So we're doing, so Wendy's going to take a turn with each of the three people that we have here, and she's going to be able to look at their LinkedIn profile, give them tips. But while you guys are watching, you'll be able to actually improve your LinkedIn profiles as well. And so that's the idea of how this is going to work, because it's cool when you get to like see someone else get the help, then you're able to learn too. And then for those of you that actually want to work one-on-one with Wendy, then you'll be able to reach out with her to do it that way. So did I explain that well?
Yes, sure did.
Awesome. And then, Paul said, Wendy, I'm so glad that you've got us. That's great. Oh, cool. Someone's on your page, Vicki. That's exciting. And then we got a good question. Let's ask a question first. So Take said, any tips on the initial LinkedIn message when networking into one company to sell to?
So, and he's on my LinkedIn page.
Right.
So, Tika. So the here's the deal. First of all, the search function is actually the super powered function on LinkedIn. So if you're trying to sell into a company, then you can do your homework on the company. You can do the homework on leadership. You can also see who that can introduce you to that person. And you can do all of that with a free account. Now, there are advantages to having a premium account. And if you're doing a ton of selling into medium and larger businesses, then you want to look at the sales tool on LinkedIn, which is not my area of expertise. But just if you've got a small business and you're selling randomly to different size businesses, you may not want to spend the money on that tool. You can say, I want to sell into company Z, and I'm going to look up their executives. I'm going to see who I can get me an introduction. And I also am going to be able to read up on who's posting on the leadership team, have a sense of how they're talking about their company. And that will be powerful when you ask for that introduction and get that meeting.
Yeah, that's so good. And why don't I think that's a really good example. And thanks for bringing that question up, because LinkedIn is a power tool for so many things. Do you want to just share a little bit, like, why would they want to be improving their profile?
Yes. And so I didn't even name the sales app, but it's Sales Navigator. So, but let's back up. So if you work for yourself, you want to be on LinkedIn, A, if your customers are there. B, if you're getting your customers somewhere else, it's just smart business sense to have some diversity of your source of customers. What if the algorithms get wonky on one place? What if the email rules change 3 days ago and it affected you because you didn't know what to do? So it's good to have diversity. Then beyond the customers, getting in front of other people's audiences like this right now for me is super powerful for growing your business, for building credibility, for finding new customers. And LinkedIn search tools are fire. They're just amazing. So that's huge. And then because you've done your profile properly, then when you're out there looking at things and interacting with people, with audiences, they look at your profile and you're telling a story. If you speak, if you podcast guest, you're not just going to tell the story of your business and who you help and what you do for them. You're going to talk about who you are as a podcast guest or a speaker, a TEDx speaker, or an event speaker. And that will... And then when you comment on somebody who has a following and is creating content, you're you're going to have a headline that grabs attention. People go to your profile and bam, they know who you are and why they need to work with you. And but that search tool is really the piece that people miss. People think it's content, people think it's being found, but that search tool is huge. And you're in the driver's seat of how you can use this powerful tool.
Wow. And it's kind of like whether you're on it because you're wanting to look for a job, you're wanting to get podcast guests or go on podcasts, or you're wanting to get clients, whatever it is, it's almost just like a marketing brochure, for your
It is. And the reality is so I've trained recruiters how to find hard to find talent on there. I work as a career coach with people to up level for their next level, their job, their next promotion, how to find their next job, how to get doors opened, all those kinds of things. Yeah. But for the entrepreneurs, this is really, it's kind of a place where a lot of entrepreneurs are leaving cash on the table, and they don't need to, and it doesn't need to take all that time. You can still have your base running your business, whether it's YouTube videos or Facebook groups or Instagram or Pinterest or your email list, whatever it is. It doesn't take a lot of time to actually get benefit out of LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, I love that, because there's a lot of people, and I was this person where it's like, okay, I like Facebook. I'm on that platform. I'm going to stay on Facebook. That's my happy zone, right? And then when the TEDx thing happened, I'm like, okay, I at least want the profile good, right?
Yes.
So, and then just recently, I just had this funny live I did on Instagram, and I'm throwing rocks. I used to throw rocks at Instagram too, and I did these videos, and then all of a sudden people are like literally signing up for this challenge that I'm doing right now from those Instagram videos. So now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, maybe Instagram is good. The idea is you don't want to I think that's my point, is you don't want to shut anything down. You want to still have your one thing that you're that's your home, for me, Facebook will be my home. But these other channels, you can use them almost like a megaphone. I think Luis is here. We kind of had that conversation, where you have these other things as a megaphone to bring them into your other thing, or it's just part of your ecosystem.
Yes, exactly. And for me, for career coaching, my people are on LinkedIn. They're not really on Facebook. Do I have a free Facebook group for career people? Yes. But my people are really on LinkedIn. For entrepreneurs, my people are on Facebook and they need LinkedIn. And so that's where I go to find them. And then I help them get over there. Oh, you mean I need to do this? No, it's not stressful. Won't take that much time. I got you.
That's what's amazing. Okay, so are we ready? I'm excited.
We're ready.
Okay, yay. Okay, do you guys want to raise your hand? Who wants to go first? Do I see Sean? Okay, it's hard to see because they're not in color. Okay, we'll bring on, oh, sorry, Vicky, I see you now. Okay, we'll bring on Sean. So, okay, ready? Are we ready? Okay, this is exciting. Okay, all right. Hi, Sean.
Hey, guys, how are you? Nice to meet you, Wendy.
Nice to meet you.
So this is amazing. So Sean and I got connected by a comedy coach that I have. And he is I'm going to have you tell your story, because you were I want you to just tell them a little bit about yourself, so then Wendy can be able to help you. But he's basically gone from doing these TV shows and charity auctions, raising millions and millions of dollars, helping all of these people, to now wanting to have an online platform for to help people basically do their big dream. And so he's created a Facebook group called Do the Big Dream, and that's going to be an online platform where he's going to be able to help people literally really do their big dreams. So I'd love you just to kind of tell them about you, and then we'll go into your LinkedIn profile, which should be exciting.
Okay, yes. Well, you did a really good job of introducing me. So I'll just recap that. So when I was 40, I woke up, decided I hadn't really gone one step towards my lifelong dream. I had never taken any action. That was to have my own television show. And so I announced at my birthday party, my 40th birthday party, to my friends and family, I'm going to have my own TV show. And 9 months later, I was starring on True TV on a show I had created. And so I did 6 seasons on True TV, and then I moved to the UK and I did 6 more seasons on a BBC-owned channel called Dave. And I also, what I do is primarily for work is I raise money for nonprofits, for like children's hospitals and nonprofits and schools as a charity fundraising auctioneer. My real passion project now is this Do the Big Dream. It really all started, I was a guest on Stacy's podcast, and she asked me, I told her about some content that I had created to try to help people overcome the fear of rejection and how to build a sincere confidence, and some sales training that I had created, and this 15-step formula on how to accomplish your dream. And she goes, when are you going to release all that? And I go, oh, I don't know. I've created it all, but I haven't really done it. And so on her podcast, I had this like aha moment, like, I got to do this, because the most joy that I've gotten is from helping other people achieve their dreams that they don't think are possible. It's like those big impossible dreams. So anyway, that's what it's all about, is me trying to teach people the 3 pillar skills that I know you need to have. And then I have a 15-step formula that I break down, showing people how to go after any big dream they have. And I am on LinkedIn, and I used to use LinkedIn primarily just for promoting myself when I was on the TV shows, or I would use it for production. And then I used it for charity auction networking. And now I'm kind of trying to pivot and let people know about Do the Big Dream.
Got it. Awesome.
Yeah. And just so you guys watching know, I put Sean's QR code up on the top. You could click it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. His website. Yeah. dothebigdream.com. Join the Facebook group. He has the grand opening for the group actually starting February 26th.
Yeah. Yes.
And so that's amazing. You get to be part of the founding member of his group, which is really fun to do. And so great. All right, Wendy, I'm going to let you steer the ship now.
Okay. So I'm looking at the LinkedIn profile. But before we dive in there, let's actually just talk about something. So there are a lot of people with day jobs that are sucking their souls dry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe it's not quite that bad, but they have a big dream.
Yeah. And it's not what they're currently doing.
And it is not what they're currently doing.
Yeah, I agree.
And it seems to me that they need you.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's so funny because when I was 40, when I did this whole thing towards my big dream, I was managing a newspaper in San Diego at the time. I was a business development manager for the San Diego Reader. At the time, they were the 5th largest weekly paper in the U.S. And it was a good job, and the people I worked with were wonderful, but it wasn't my passion. I didn't start that paper. It wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. And so I think you're right. Like, there's just millions of people who are working somewhere because they need a paycheck, and that's happened to be where they got hired, but it's not how they want to spend their life. And at some time, I think all of us wake up and we realize, wow, wait a minute. There's no do-overs. I get one shot at life. This is it. And I only have a small window of time where I have time and my health. And that's the realization that came to me, which was like, wait a minute, what am I waiting for? I got to do this.
Yes, exactly. And that's close to my heart because of things that happened in my life in the last 6 months. So yes, that is completely true. So here's the deal. I usually don't talk about content. I talk about who you need to find, but in your case, probably the smartest thing you can do is have a content strategy where you're sharing some inspirational stories about and putting it out there. You can have a dream and you can make it happen. And I have a hunch that you're going to have way more than 810 followers pretty quickly.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I think now, but before you start spending the time on the content, you're going to want to think about how you engage people on here, because you still have kind of, you can jazz this up because what you do is really interesting. And you also have all these identities, and I get that because I do too. So figure out if the real purpose here is to tap into the fact that there are a lot of people with W-2 jobs on LinkedIn, then what you want to do, and you want to paint this picture of, you could have your dream. If you know what your dream is, you can have it. I can help you. Then you want to be talking about that, and you want to think about what to highlight of the things that you do. And like, you've got that speaker image in the background. Actually, it's an auctioneer image in the background.
I'm going to show it for them so they could see it.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. See.
So like when we did Stacy's, we wanted to make sure we had images of her speaking because, you know, TEDx, you may not need to pitch auctioneering anymore.
Yeah.
So you might want to have images that reflect dream, that reflect that you help people achieve their dreams, thinking about which of your identities you highlight in that headline. Because you've got all these things. The big dream, do the big dream probably needs to be like front and center. The first thing you talk about doesn't mean you have to have one audience, one identity. If you have reason, if multiple identities are part of your credibility, make sure it's on the profile. It just might not be on top. And so do the big dream definitely on top. That background image probably needs to go. Your profile shot, I think, is fine. You look warm and energetic, so I think you're good there. For a lot of entrepreneurs, I recommend, and you can do this in Canva for free, a background thing that says who you help, what your name is, who you help, if you've got a brand logo for Do the Big Dream. So you probably need to do something that says Do the Big Dream and who you're painting a picture of that. Not a ton of words in that image, and that would replace that image of you auctioneering.
Okay, yeah, that's great advice. I still do the charity auctions, but as it is right now, I'm not actually looking for. I'm kind of booked up, so I'm not really looking for new auction clients. But I do have one.
Have this identity then down below as a job.
Yeah. Okay. So I hear what you're saying. That's 100%. I'll go back and change that branding because that makes 100% sense. I do have one other do the big dream question for you with LinkedIn though, which is this. So I have about 12 nonprofits 12 or 15 nonprofits that I'm their gala auctioneer that I raise money for each year. So I raise millions of dollars for these different nonprofits. One of them, I'm trying to help them do more than just their gala. It's like a wild animal park in San Diego where they rescue lions and tigers. It's called Lions, Tigers, and Bears. And so what I want to do is try to find them a title sponsor, and I want to try to find them more corporate sponsors. So I want to be able to reach out to executive teams at corporations in the San Diego area to find out who might be interested in like branding with them. Yes. And so I liked what you were talking about before. So could I also hear a couple ideas on like how you would go about that?
Yes. So what you want to think about is the biggest businesses in San Diego, probably, because they get the big budgets. And so you're going to use that search section on the top left-hand corner of your LinkedIn when you're logged into LinkedIn. Yep. And you're going to look for, you can pick a company you know exists in San Diego. But then you can, once you put something in that search function, then you can go ahead and say, I want only companies. I want them in San Diego or the greater San Diego area. And then you may even be able with a free account to do size-based.
I think I have a premium. I do have a premium.
If you're premium, then you probably can do size-based. And what's that?
What's it called?
Oh, well, you want to, ideally, you're looking at companies by size.
Oh, size. Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, you can also see whether you have a second degree connection to people at those companies.
Yes.
And they could be decision makers, or they could be in the line of business that usually gets assigned doing the charitable work, whichever you want. But if it's a senior exec, they've got the power of the purse. Yep. And you're not going to first degree connections necessarily on LinkedIn, even if you have a real life network that's pretty powerful, which you probably do. Right now at 800 followers, 500 plus connections. but you probably have second degree connections,
Yes.
and they can introduce you.
Yep.
And you can, and if you don't know the person off LinkedIn super well and only have the contact on LinkedIn, you use the LinkedIn messaging. And if you're connected to them, it's free, even if you have a free account.
Yep.
And you ask for an introduction, and you tell the story, a short version of the lions and tigers and bears, oh my, and then you tell them why you want to talk to this company, and by the way, see who else they know.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been on LinkedIn for many years.
Yeah.
And I do use it, but I have never actually asked anyone for an introduction before to anyone.
It is part of the magic.
Is that just like, is it a pretty simple thing to do? Just a real casual, like, hey, can you please make an introduction for me?
Yes, but you want to make your case. And in your case, it's really easy. It's not like you're actually asking for a job. Yes, technically you're asking that company for money, but you have this really great cause, and you're asking this person to introduce you so you can raise money for the really great cause and make that company look good.
Okay, good. All right.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. And the last question that I have for you is, until you were talking earlier, I'd never heard of, what is Sales Navigator?
So Sales Navigator is a super powerful tool on LinkedIn, usually used by B2B salespeople selling into corporate environments. So your average everyday Wendy or Stacy probably isn't going to buy Sales Navigator. Although, somebody running a recruiting business would use Sales Navigator potentially. It's got a lot of great tools in it. It's similar to the recruiting apps. They have 2 tiers of recruiting apps on LinkedIn that are amazing for recruiters. It's a similar kind of concept, the tools that serious B2B salespeople need.
Okay, awesome. Last question. What would you change? Because I heard you say you want to have a really strong headline, so when you come up in search, it intrigues people.
Yes.
What would you change in my headline to do that?
Well, so I would have recommended dothebigdream.com would be the first thing, but your whole headline won't be visible when you comment.
Yep.
So because of the gig helping the lions and tigers, you might want something about that first, and then do the big dream. Because if you're mostly going to be sending messages about that, then you want that to be where you have life coach and entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Then they do the big dream. So you can have multiple identities, and that, I never remember the word for it, but the character on your keyboard that's the up and down line is the clearest way to delineate your different, your multiple personalities. Because you'll see on mine, I've got like 6 personalities. So.
Okay, I'll check out your page as well.
Yes, and I am linkedin.com/in/Wendy Taylor.
Okay, great. I will check it out. You'll see me like request a LinkedIn connection there. Thank you, Wendy. It was very helpful.
Very cool. All right, Sean, you're good?
Yep. Awesome.
Okay, cool. All right, this is fun. How you doing?
Torres.
Amazing. Okay, let me find this here. I'm gonna take down our QR code, and guess who we're bringing on next? Vicki Poole.
Okay.
Amazing. Hi, Vicki. Hi. So Vicki is a life coach, and then also she's a board certified hypnotist. And so she is the master of helping people make lasting change. And so her Facebook group is going to be on Make Lasting Change.
Yeah, and it's happening Monday.
And she has her grand opening on Monday, so it's tomorrow. So super exciting. So you guys have her QR code up there. So definitely join. It's vickipoole.com. Would love for you guys to join her group and be in her grand opening. And so, yeah, as far as her LinkedIn, let's take a look and see. You want me to share it on my screen?
Yes, because I haven't found her.
I'm not surprised.
which is probably not a good thing.
Yes.
Because I have a big network.
I think we're gonna. Do you mind sharing? Did you end up getting on your computer, Vicki?
Yes.
Do you mind if I have you share your screen? Do you see where it is?
I do.
Oh, yay. Okay, good. Yeah,
So go ahead and share it.
yeah, let's try it and see if it'll work. See. Oh, look at that. Got a new thing. There we go. Look at us.
Okay. Now, how do we make it so we can read it? Okay.
Now that I have no idea.
Okay, hang on a
Oh,
second.
I can hide. Let me hide me. Let me see if that helps.
Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to find her myself.
Okay.
Now that what's your headline say under your name?
Health life coach and podcaster at the Enlightened Peach.
Oh, Enlightened Peach. That'll get you. There we go. Okay, now I can see you. Okay.
So you want me to leave the share up here?
It might be useful so people can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Okay. So first of all, your profile shot of you, I like it because you're both professional, but you've got a kind of vibe that goes with hypnotist. So I think that's really cool. So you don't look corporate-y, but you also look professional. So you've got that balance really great. So if you like that, I'd leave that. Your background, you don't have a background image. So that is really easy peasy to deal with. So who are your customers?
Well, I've been making a pivot on that, but it's right now.
So am I.
It is people who are looking to make lasting change. Maybe it is someone who is wanting to do like Stacy, do a TED talk, and they have anxiety and stress about going up on the stage, or someone that has just something that they're really wanting to do in their life, and they have the fear factor of the unknown. I help them to bridge that gap to be able to do that thing without all the stress and anxiety.
Wonderful. So your customers are on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So that's the first question is, are they there? Or is it just other people that you need to grow your business are there? So they are there. So that's great. Now, it's interesting because I would have said 5 years ago, they wouldn't talk about this stuff, but things have really shifted. So there's much more sharing. So first of all, you're going to want a background image. You're going to want it to say who you help in really clear language with very few words. And you don't want to, you can have like a logo brand image, but I wouldn't do a picture of you because you already have a picture in the profile shot.
Mm-hmm.
I broke that rule with Stacy because it was all about images of her speaking. And that's all, we were totally dialed in on that. So that's the first thing. And you want to paint the picture of, I have this pain and I help you do this. And keep in mind that these will be mostly people. I mean, there are entrepreneurs on there because that's what I tell entrepreneurs to do. But there are also a lot of people with W-2 jobs who have something they want to do in their life and they're being held back. And you can help them. So,
I have had several clients that were wanting to change their professions, and I helped them to kind of get in tune with what they want as they're going into LinkedIn and different places to get jobs.
Well, and that's wonderful. And you and I are probably really great referral partners, my career coaching hat, because there are people who have blockages and blocks that are getting in the way. I'm really good at helping them get a lot of stuff done. But if there's a block, then, and then when it comes to, if you unblock them, then they need help getting the job, you know, that kind of. So notice entrepreneurs, we just met each other and we just figure out a way we can refer customers to each other.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually have one person that just popped in my mind that I want to send to you.
Awesome. Because we're all about helping our people, right? And sometimes it's not, we can help them with part of it, but we can't help them with all of it. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Let's look at your headline. Your headline. So I think of it as a tagline. It's technically called a headline. And is Enlightened Peach the brand of like everything you're doing and the new group, or do you have a new thing?
Well, the Enlightened Peach is actually my company name.
Okay.
And I just noticed because I went on and was changing things just the other day because I pivoted away from weight loss. And so I just realized that I've got health and life coach and I didn't put the hypnosis up there yet.
Got it. And I have no idea. It'll be interesting to see how people vibe with the hypnosis, but it is obviously one of the tools in your toolkit to help people with their blockages. I understand that. So yes, we want to shift. You want to do some strategic connecting too, because you don't have a lot of connections. So first of all, you're going to connect with me because I'm going to send you a connection request.
Okay.
But I would strongly recommend, and you're going to connect with Stacy because I'm volunteering her. But people who know people are a good person for you to connect, who have a certain number of connections. And I think based on Stacy's past life, she probably has a fair amount of connections. I can't remember. Then the headline, so we don't need the company name. However, notice that next to the Enlightened Peach, there's this blue blob of like rectangles. So there's a really free, easy way that'll take you 30 minutes to turn that blue blob into your logo.
Oh,
okay.
Yes. It's called creating a business page. Now, much like Facebook, your individual profile has the superpowers. The business pages are good for the big companies. However, you don't want a blue blob. You're an entrepreneur. It makes you look like you're not credible. You don't have a real business.
Yeah. Well, Wendy, I'll share. I've had this LinkedIn profile for a long time, and I didn't even know that stuff behind my picture was supposed to be anything.
It's okay. You've been getting your people and helping your people in other places, and that's fine. But there are people who need you here too. And there are podcast hosts that you can find. You can do searches for, you can find yourself podcast guests for your podcast. You can find yourself podcasts to guest for. So it's a whole other thing that you can do here by using that search tool. So, and then your about section. So it looks like you made some changes to that.
I did.
So, yeah. So I think that, and it's formatted funky. So it kind of just needs a little polishing on the way the formatting and the paragraphs and spacing are working.
Okay.
You definitely want really short paragraphs because people are looking at this on their mobiles. And so you want them to be able to easily see it. So your second paragraph is as long as we want to be. You definitely, and this is really kind of like where you say really clearly who you help and what they get from it. And you paint that picture and you drive them to a call to action. So you have your Calendly. That's really smart. I have mine there. I have mine with a like $10 a year domain redirect. So it says careerswithwendy.com, but it's actually my Calendly link.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. That's really smart.
Yes. So, but you need something before you put that link in to explain whatever, why they want to reach out to you. Now, keep in mind that obviously Facebook likes people to stay on Facebook and LinkedIn likes to keep people on LinkedIn. If you have a premium account, they'll actually let you have a link up at the top. So depending on how important and what kind of funds you have to drive people to you, then it's worth the 60 something bucks for the premium account. If that doesn't make financial sense right now, you can put it in the about section like you did, and that's just fine. But you want to say something about that. Like what happens? Like I might do an audit of somebody's LinkedIn profile. You want to say why they want to call you. Let's see here. And yeah, so I think it's just a matter of fleshing this out, and thinking about, I don't know if you have a place where you're comfortable marketing your stuff and you're really polished with your language. Look at that language and import that here, keeping in mind that this is a more professional vibe than, say, a Facebook or an Instagram where you've got all the creative people. So you just want to, if you've got well-written stuff in one of the other channels, you take that and you say, oh, let me speak a little bit more to somebody with a corporate job here. But then you don't have to rewrite from scratch. If you've got well-written stuff somewhere else, you just take it a little bit more corporate, a little bit more polished, a little bit more formal, but still very, very likable, reachable, approachable, because people are coming to you with their secret stuff.
Okay.
So they have to feel safe. You have to create safety on the page.
Oh, I love that. Create safety on the page. That's so good.
All right. I'm going to, how do I unshare?
Oh, I can do it.
Okay.
And
I can't see you guys, you know.
and
I can only
so
see my
one
screen
last
here.
thing. Do I have time for one more thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So before you did Enlightened Peach, did you do anything that gives you credibility with your audience? Like, did you have a corporate job?
No, I've been an entrepreneur almost my whole life, but I was a hairstylist. So it was a hairstylist page.
Okay, got it. So the reason I asked is that I actually have every job I've had since I left college, and I'm 56. But that's because usually there's one thing about my background that makes people want to work with me.
Okay.
So
see, I just removed, I had stuff about the hairstyling and everything on there, and I had like reviews that people had left from the salon and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just removed all of that stuff.
I'm not sure that's a problem. I think it's fine to do. But one thing I would do is, for the Enlightened Peach, you're going to get a business page so that you have your logo.
Okay.
And you're not going to you're going to take health out if based on your pivot.
Yeah.
And then you're going to disconnect this connection between the skills section and your job. You don't need those skills there. I even tell people who are job seekers not to do that, because it gets in the way of the resume language I'm teaching them to use. Now, you're going to not necessarily, it's not quite a resume language, but you're going to once again say, this business helps these people and does these things. You can look at mine for taking charge.
Okay.
And get a little bit of a feel. I help these people do these things. And once again, I have multiple identities, and it's not, I need to tweak it, but it will give you a feel for how to talk in your experience section about what you do. And you don't need to talk about, I actually think that if you were going to mention your background, what I would do is put that in your about section. Like, I used to help people transform themselves by doing X. Now I help them do it at a deeper level by doing Y, something like that.
I have a question too, Wendy. So she has, just in the time that we've been working together, she's gotten, she gets amazing testimonials. So she helped someone stop sugar. She helped someone 2 days ago. They gave her this amazing video testimonial of how she like changed the way that she did like her speaking event, where she wasn't even nervous. She helped me when I auditioned, where she said I was going to have people leaning in, and they were like leaning in. I had to look away. It was so weird because I wasn't ever used to it. Like, the weight loss, you've had like 3 people with like massive weight loss stories. So anyway, it's just been a bunch of different stuff. So I was just curious, what she do with all that?
Get recommendations on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, though, you can't transfer them. They'd have to be willing to give them to you again. Now you'll be willing to do that for her.
Oh yeah. Sure.
But if you have anyone on LinkedIn, you can request a recommendation. And so I've kept all my old ones from my FinTech executive days, and the things I've done since. But obviously, now it's like career coaching and now helping entrepreneurs, and that's what I've got there. So yes, anything that, especially if it comes under the umbrella of transform,
Okay.
or
Okay.
if that's a verb that you use for what you're doing, whatever the verb is that you use for what you're doing, if it kind of falls in that umbrella, and leave the one that you've got there that's about your salon.
I already took it off, I thought.
Yeah, there's still one there, but leave it
there's
there.
there?
It'll be buried at the bottom. But if you're going to acknowledge you did that, and see, people kind of wonder, well, she just appeared on the scene in 2017. So you don't need the experience. You don't need to list the salon experience in your experience section, but I would acknowledge it in the about section and leave this. It'll be buried under your more recent things.
Okay.
From 2012, but it's fine because you transformed people on the outside. Now you help them transform on the inside.
Oh yeah, I love that. That's a really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Vicki, you good?
All right.
Yay.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much, Wendy. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yay. Fun. Okay. And you guys go to VickiPoole.com. That's where you can join her Facebook group. Her grand opening is tomorrow. So you get to be there at the beginning. Okay. Here we go. And now, oh my goodness, we have Luis.
Hello. How are you?
What's your last name so I can look you up while Stacy
Oh,
introduces?
yeah. Oh, I have it. I have it.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you. Yeah. I'll put it in the chat. It's Luis Aguilar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then, oh, do you see it in the chat, Wendy? If it's just
Now I do. Yes.
Okay, cool. Amazing.
And
So
I haven't updated, so
yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Are you?
Oh. Yes.
I'll share my screen so everyone can see also. And yeah, so Luis has the New Dynamo U Facebook group. Do you want to just tell them what you're doing, Luis?
yeah, absolutely. So the premise of the Facebook group is to do 30 minutes of exercise as a way to actually kind of embody and take back your fitness. This kind of spills over into other aspects such as not only physical health but emotional health and mental health in order to really just get back into you, because for example it's my own story. I've been disempowered and a lack of understanding of my place and all of this stuff, and this is just a really fundamental base in order to people get back into themselves, basically. So yes, that's the premise of the group right for the moment.
And Luis has already had his grand opening. It was 3 weeks ago, I think. And his group is like off the charts. He's got like 180 people in there. He just did his first challenge and it's been really, really fun.
Yeah, it's a big learning curve, absolutely. And it's been just, fun, absolutely. Having your own business is much different from the 9-to-5 world, which I'm very familiar with. So this is just a great experience so far.
Okay. So my first question for you, sir, is are you all in on entrepreneurship, or are you going to do the entrepreneur thing on the side and have a bill-paying job for a while longer?
So as of starting next week, I'll probably have a 9-to-5 just to supplement what I'm doing here. But then that is probably a short-term thing so that I can get back onto full-time. I actually took a break back in October. And that was just the first touch, and it was really the first time that I kind of left that and really went into entrepreneurship. So one step at a time. But yeah, I'm going back into the workforce so that I can actually continue with entrepreneurship.
Okay, so the big question is when we're doing both, we have to figure out how much we talk about and what we talk about are two identities.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's possible you can have both on there, but there are things that you probably need to have on there for the sake of the employer, whoever's paying the bills.
Yeah.
So there's that. So like, you're probably not going to do that background thing that I told the other two folks to do until you've stepped away from this next role.
Okay.
So the beach is fine. Leave the beach there or something else Or actually, you know what would be great if you're helping people do 30 minutes of exercise. The background image should be you doing exercise.
Hmm.
Ah,
I
yeah,
do
sure.
that with career people all the time. It's
Hmm.
actually a trick for people over 45 who are facing age discrimination. If they do something athletic, I have them pop a picture of themselves running or they're mountain biking or whatever. So for you, it will not be a red flag for an employer, but it will also be reinforcing your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, I kind of left LinkedIn onto the side, but it's contextual. The beach is actually related to my previous field of work, which is yeah, it was marine geology. So that
Oh, that makes sense. And you always want it to be about that. Now, what I used to do as a career person, as an executive, and the woman who was the only woman in the room a lot of the time, I had a picture of the San Francisco Giants baseball park because I've kept score at every baseball game I've been to since 1979. And so it was a way for male executives to feel comfortable working with me because I spoke sports.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So for you, the ocean made a lot of sense, but now you could do an exercising photo, won't trigger anything for the employer, and it's on brand. You need a business page for your new Dynamo U business, and then you'll have a logo there, and that
Mhm.
will look good. And then I would strongly recommend that when you start the new job, you create an experience piece for the new job and it goes on top
Okay.
and new dynamo's right under because
Hmm.
Mm.
whoever's showing you the most money gets to be top billing, but you still can
Oh, I
have
see.
that identity.
Yeah,
That's totally
absolutely.
fine. And then your about section is going to talk
Fair enough.
about so what are you doing in the new job?
It's a sales position.
Oh, Lordy, then you really have to. Okay. So you're interesting. We may actually have to talk, but I'm going to give you as much right now because
Hmm.
I'm glad you were the third one because this is the hardest thing when we have both. And there
Yeah.
are a lot of people out there. I work with those people. I help them keep the day job or get the next day job that pays the bills while they launch their thing. So you are my people.
Perfect.
So what we want to do is we want to write an about section that talks about, you as a salesperson and you and what you sell. And then you can talk about when I'm not working, I help people do X.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's
I usually do that with people's hobbies. However, and like mine says, when I'm not helping my clients, I'm keeping score at baseball games. I'm going to read you what mine says just so I can, because it's useful. But in your case, you're going to talk about how you help people. So
okay.
let me just pull up the
Yeah, because they did ask me if there was a conflict of interest, which I told them no.
yes.
But
So
yeah,
mine says, when I'm not coaching my amazing clients, I am keeping score at baseball games, singing classical choral soprano, and hosting one of my fabulous dinner salons. And I always tell people that if you're talking about your personal interests, you pick three things that are very different. So they tap the likelihood that whoever's reading your profile is one of those three people. So if you don't like sports, you might like classic, you might like music. If you don't like either of those, you have a stomach. You want to eat my food.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yes, if you're on Facebook, you want to eat my food. So in your case, however, you're going to transition into that, like, what do I do for fun thing with, when I'm not selling amazing whatever, I help people take responsibility for whatever it is. I like to help people do X.
Yeah.
And I would not use the word entrepreneur in your about section while you have this job. And the reason is that salespeople even if your company doesn't use Sales Navigator, salespeople are on LinkedIn. You probably are going to need some kind of presence, and you need to sound like you're really committed to selling to their customers,
Yeah.
and that for fun, you do this thing helping people exercise and gain, perform better in their marriage and their work and things like that.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. I think it was considering that I'm balancing both at the moment. I think that's just the language in order to really make that clear.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense too, because like, so he's figured what's happening is he's building his audience and his group, and everyone's becoming super engaged and giving him feedback. And so he's really realizing, like, he was originally going to create one product, and now he's potentially pivoting. So that's what that stops. So now he's like really figuring out what product he wants to sell. So I think it was genius that you're getting that job for now, so you have time to build the audience, get connected to everyone. And then once the product sort of like comes alive through the group is what I'm thinking, then everything can sort of shift. But yeah, I think that's such good advice, because now you'll be able to do both, in a way to still honor the company you'll be with, and then also represent something with what you're doing.
Definitely.
Right. And as soon as you have sales experience, to be honest, the job came to me, and I know in which direction I want to take this business. So I have a clear direction, and I'm not concerned at all. But it was absolutely, I think, in respect to the employer, would be to put that there, and then
Yeah.
whatever else is that I'm doing until I'm actually making more than
Yes,
I completely
exactly.
understand. Yeah.
But the reality is salespeople usually do have their profiles looked at by customers. So,
Mhm.
you're going to need to represent them well.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
but I'm so glad that you chose the three people you chose, because having somebody who has both identities, there are people listening right now that needed to hear this. Like, how do I do this? And the reality is sometimes people are launching it while they're employed, and in figuring out there's a privacy setting that blocks announcing to people that you've made changes to your profile. So you do want to go in. So at the top of your LinkedIn profile, there's home, network, jobs, messaging, notifications, and then there's a me, and you can click in there and just make sure it now should default to not announcing to all of your connections that you made changes. But we really don't want people to see when we make changes. Even if we're self-employed, we don't want to announce that to the world. So that's important. I've had one career coaching client who had a boss who would go and check his team members' profiles to make sure they weren't up to anything. That's not all that common, but if you're in sales and marketing and you're representing a company, then you need to represent the company. That being said, they have the right to tell you how to describe the company in your experience section, but they really don't have the right to tell you to brand your LinkedIn profile like with their branding on the background. They really shouldn't do that. But if you need the money and they're doing it, then you're going to go there.
Yeah, I really didn't look into it, but the last position, well, not this one, but the one before, they were really, I couldn't post anything. It was a UN job, and
Yes.
intergovernmental jobs, you really not. So I always kind of just put the minimum amount of information and just left it at that. So I didn't.
Well, and here's the deal. If this is going to be the last job you have working for other people, then it doesn't matter that you're not doing the things I would tell you to do on your experience section if you thought you were going to need multiple jobs working for other people. So but do a company page for New Dynamo U, so you don't have the blue blob, and go ahead and you can do a real simple sentence. Especially if since it's about, is it focused on the 30 minutes of exercise, or is it something else now? Is it pivoting away from that?
It's currently, that is a like a fundamental factor into it.
Okay, so it's like a pillar, but not the whole house.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like the movement is what helps people manage their emotions, like mindset. And it's so like identity, connection, belonging. And so he's actually touching on all of these things, but the movement is the core piece, which is really cool. And he's been having amazing conversations with the people in the group, basically like doing that. So yeah, it's really cool.
Such an energy shift. I have a rebounder, and when I need to like go into a sales meeting or something like that, that's always a really good thing for me. And you don't like bounce like feet in the air, just like a little gentle bounce, and very energetic changes. So I can imagine how committing to something like that would have a lot of significant impact for people. So I think what you just taught, my recommendation is on LinkedIn while you're employed, is you kind of talk about X outcome and kind of heavy on the physical activity, because that'll be non-threatening, harmful, and that kind of thing, but still say the overall outcome, that it's not just that, so that people do know what you're doing. And because you do want people to check out what you're up to in your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think it's just finding the balance between how they won't overlap.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good.
This is so awesome. And so, yeah, you're going to need more sales language about what you sell and you as a sales guy. And then you'll have and when I'm not just selling this amazing product, I like to help people improve their life by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll relook at the information, but in terms of being able to say, on the side, I do help via, and I help this particular person. Absolutely.
And do they have multiple salespeople at this company?
Yes. Yeah. It's actually it's an investment company.
Okay. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is kind of check out some of those profiles and get a feel for what other people in the company are doing.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to reach out and talk to me, because we might want to get that really right.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Absolutely. Perfect.
So good. Well, cool.
No, I get that we can leave it here for now, and then.
And then you guys, Luis's Facebook group is dynamou.com. So go ahead and join. Thanks, Luis.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. I'm like,
wow. Yeah.
That was so, it's so cool, because each of you guys had like different things. So I feel like we got to see almost like this full, process of how you can actually evaluate and help people, use LinkedIn in like such a cool way.
Definitely.
Do you mind? You have 5 more minutes. I wanted to show something you did on mine. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure everyone saw this, because I really liked this part. Let me just get there. You did. Oh my God, that's funny. That's so weird. You did this like featured section, which I thought was really cool. So like I highlighted my 200th episode, a cocktail party challenge, a comedy thing. So, and then there's more, but like you helped me with those featured section. Can you tell them really quick how to?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
So the featured section, which the first 2 hot seaters probably need to do as well. Especially for Sean with content. So what you're doing when you're doing that is, it's where I put my content that I want to feature that I'm currently writing. But say you have like a short video of you doing a speaking gig, or you have an award that you won or something like that. You can do that by posting it and then clicking in the upper right hand corner and saying, I want to pin this to featured, and you can change the order of the featured items. If you have more than 3, only 3 will be visible, but people can click on it easily and see the featured items.
I'm trying to find, where do you even post? Just oh, here we go. So no, that's not it.
So you can post hang on a second. Let me pull this up.
Why am I even missing where you? Oh, here. Duh. So here.
So yes, so on the main page, you're going to go ahead where it says start a post. So you could log into LinkedIn, your general feed. So you can start a post there. And let's see, because I'm streaming, I'm not sure I'll be able to get into my to see. But oh no, it does work. Oh, that's very cool.
Oh,
cool. Of course. Yes. So so anyway, if I look at like the last thing I posted, see here. Yeah, here's one. I posted about coming here tonight.
Oh,
so
cool.
I click on my post and I can see my post, and then it says there's 3 little dots in the upper right hand corner of my post. I click on them, and the option is a star, and it says feature on top of profile, which I didn't feature this on top of my profile.
That's great. Okay, cool. So that's how you do it. Amazing. That's so good. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. I thought I was sharing my screen the whole time. Let me show them, because I was like, sorry guys. I like literally thought I was sharing my screen. That's hilarious. Okay.
And I was looking at my LinkedIn profile.
We're both looking at our own. Yeah. Sorry. I totally thought you were seeing what I was seeing. So I went to my post. This is one of my posts. And then I go here, and then I can just do feature, and that's how you get it over there. Okay. Now it makes sense.
So people who are doing content, and I like to not scare people. Not everyone needs to do content. People who are doing content, then you can rotate what's up there. But for someone who isn't doing a content strategy, you might just want to do things related to what your goals are on LinkedIn. And that could be, and for a lot of us, it's podcast guesting or speaking gigs and things like that. And you want people to have that credibility, and it's right there featured on your profile.
That's great. And where do you want people? I have your QR code for your LinkedIn profile. Is that good? Or do you want?
That is the perfect place to go to find me. If you are like allergic and you're not even sure how to log into your LinkedIn account, and that's where we are, it's okay. I got you. Probably the best place to find me is on Facebook then.
Okay.
And I was the second Wendy Taylor on Facebook, so I'm Wendy Taylor 1.
Yeah, or if they want specific help, they can reach out to you and then be able to.
Exactly. Yes, if you want specific help, I love both my people. So I'm the entrepreneurs, but if you know somebody who needs a new job because they got laid off, I'm there for them too. So
amazing. Okay, we're going to bring our crew back on so we can say goodbye as a group. Let's see. There we go. Yay.
Yay.
Well, we are doing the thing in regarding LinkedIn and taking charge with Wendy Taylor. And doing the big dream while we're making lasting change with New Dynamo U. Okay, how was that?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Absolutely. Bring them on one.
Leave no one left behind.
No one left behind. And you guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. For those of you that are going to watch it on replay, really excited. Make sure you put #replay in the comments. And if you have any questions, make sure you put that in there as well. And Wendy, thank you so much for doing this. This was so incredibly helpful. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very, very, very welcome. You know where to find me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
Wendy.
guys for your bravery and doing this. It takes a lot to, it shows that and I think it goes back to what Sean's doing, right? Doing the big dream, right? We're all kind of doing our big dream. And that's why we're open to being courageous by doing something that, just shows this, I'm doing something new and I need help, and being able to ask for help and then take it. So I appreciate that from you guys.
And while I was backstage, I was reaching out to some of my current hypnosis clients and saying, hey, are you on LinkedIn? I could use a referral on LinkedIn. So one of them's already responded and said yes. So I'm going to get her on.
So awesome. That is what the action taking happens,
I love it.
So
I
good.
love it.
All right. Well, thanks you guys, and do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity.
Create it.
Hey.
Apple.
Bye.